the context of all this became to bear on me.
Did one parent, did your mom or your dad more so than the other, ask you to take their lives?
They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill.
When it actually happened, when your parents died, did they know what was happening to them?
Oh yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
Well, yes, no one else's.
Right. So they realized what you were doing to them as it happened.
Yes.
They knew that this was it for them, that they were perishing at your hand.
Yes. And it was so quick.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved?
No,
was
no.
there a suffocation? You suffocated them?
Oh, this nigga just admitted he suffocated his parents. What the fuck? It's been 8 minutes in the interview. Oh my God.
You suffocated your parents.
Yeah.
That was the best way to take their lives, through suffocation.
Basically.
Which parent did you suffocate first?
My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
What the fuck?
And then what did you do?
Your own
Did you bury them
son.
immediately?
No. I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking what to do.
Hello.
And it took me several days to realize I can't do this, I can't
You
do
got
that.
dogs in the chat?
Just bury them on the property, and it was wide open sunlight. I remember my sister, she received either a gift of a lamb or a lamb was given to her upon her funeral, but that lamb showed up, and I put it on my mother's grave, and the police must have that now too.
You call it a grave? You bury them in the backyard, you see it as a grave?
Well, I bury them, and I put a thing around my mother's grave, and and I planted a peach tree next to her, and I put that there.
What did you think as you were doing it?
This nigga.
As you were
different.
taking their lives?
You suffocate your parents and then you come out and
What was
talk
going through your
about it?
Not thoughts, action. Make sure it's done, and not fool around, not make a mistake. But I'm sure the police are going to say what an incompetent idiot I am on that. But
Did they both pass away peacefully? Did they struggle as you did it?
I would say the last minute, no. But they're I think my father died very quickly, surprisingly quickly. That shocked me.
What the fuck?
And then, the part with my mother, went quickly too.
Did you realize what you were doing, as righteous as you may have thought it was illegal, and
Oh yeah.
you knew you were breaking the law? You knew you were...
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have to squeeze the law to fit the humans, not us, the humans to fit the law. And we have 40 million boomers. They're all going to suffer a horrible death, typically. My mother always...
Okay, so what he's saying is he's saying that his mom grew older and she was suffering from being old. Maybe all her body parts are shutting down, stuff like that, which I understand what he's saying. But, like, I think that's the thing about getting old. Getting old is when your body parts... I don't know. Maybe... I don't want to just put fucking words in this man's mouth. Or say some weird shit. Lagging. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really want to say no weird shit about what he got going on, but hold on, y'all. Let me see if I'm lagging. Oh, it don't look like I'm lagging. Liar. Anyways, I basically think what he's saying is like his parents didn't want to go through that. And he didn't want to watch him go through that, and that the older people should be killed just because they are old. Yeah, that shit don't sound right, bro. That shit do not sound right.
If somebody died in their home, she would say, great, that person died with their boots on, instead of going to a hospital and going through a meat processing factory kind of thing. So they were both children of World War II. My mother was born in 42. She was a toddler. She told me she would follow funerals behind the horse and wagon. This is the kind of world she grew up in. My father was at age 12 in a communist concentration camp for 3 years. So they had very serious lives, given the globe, the genocidal British geopolitics, as I call it. And so they were not
Okay, we know why he killed him. What has he
fooling around on things. They were serious people.
When you were doing this, did you think about the financial ramifications, the fact that you would continue to take their government money?
Oh.
Once that happens, and what do? The government is pissed because I took the Social Security money and gave it to people who were starving in the Philippines. Okay then, be angry about that. But the police know all the money that I have went to people to help them. Thousands of dollars. I gave almost, not all of it away because there was still a lot left. But I gave away, I didn't play with the money, I gave it away. I didn't enrich myself.
Does that justify what you did?
No, but this is not a kill for money case, is important to say. It's, in fact, I was helping people before that just fine, so it didn't, the issue of taking my parents' money for other purposes related to that doesn't fit. That's why the police, they had a theory going which we talked about on Tuesday, and they wanted to try to say that this was taking their money to give away to other people, but it was that the other part is the primary situation.
Someone called that blood money.
Right, and I was giving it away.
But it's still blood money.
Well,
Okay, so I don't want to. He comes back with another interview.
Thank you for seeing us again, Lawrence. Since you told me yesterday that you killed your parents, do you feel a sense of relief today about that?
Not any extra relief. No, not at all.
The world knows what happened now? That doesn't...
That does help, I think. I'm glad that people know about my statement. That's important to me.
But I think people out there care about your parents and what happened to them.
Yes.
Can we just go through that again very quickly? That night that you decided to take their lives, did you know that day, the day before, when did you know that was the time to do this?
My father laid back and was ready. He knew. I just want to say a message that there's a legal defense type of thing, and then there's a political defense, and the most important law in this country is New York State ratification law, which says that the people have the power to reassume the powers of government whensoever it is necessary to their happiness. And one of my goals was to create a board of trustees for New York State, and to create that initial trustee, someone needs to know what to do. So I'm making the claim that I'm the initial trustee of the New York State Board of Trustees, and they would have prosecutorial immunity.
No, bro.
And so I appeal to that,
That's not
having
gonna happen,
prosecutorial
bro.
immunity. for this case.
It's pretty much a certainty that's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
You also
dumbass.
talked about wanting to be tried under German law.
Well, ancient German law, yes.
Is that still
This nigga won't get tried over German law. What the fuck is he talking about?
something you're looking for?
I would ask for it. There's nothing wrong with asking. I mean, you never know if you'll get a yes. You can get a yes. This country is unstable right now. You don't know what could break up. And,
Yeah, see, this
and I
nigga-
do think the country should break up
his
into pieces
mind
to
is fucked
make it
up.
better for everyone. Even the Washington Post suggested that.
The court of public opinion seems to say that they're not happy with what they heard from you yesterday, that they think it was a cold-blooded crime. Do you understand people thinking that way?
I'm glad you gave me that feedback.
What? You want to know what the
We
people
all
think?
are getting old. We're all going to need help, and we're all going to have to decide how to deal with these kinds of problems. And with 40 million boomers getting into that stage of life,
He keep talking
they
about
need
40
their
million
options open,
boomers.
and their families need their
So
options
kill
open.
them people?
But
What
who
is
are
he
you to
talking
decide?
about?
Other
Yeah.
than being their son. But is that decision up to you? Can you play God?
You can do your duty to your parents as they give you feedback, information, etc. And so it's really not a decision of God. It's it's a matter of what kind of lives are you trying to give your parents under grave circumstances that will be coming. If somebody falls and then ends up in the hospital, they're in like a machine that will just process them along, and you will have no way to recapture control
How the fuck
to
you
get
know?
control
nigga?
of
You
your own
ass
life
ain't been
again.
to the
But they
fucking-
weren't in a hospital. They
Yeah,
weren't
what is
hooked
he
up to a
talking
machine.
about?
Their lifeline was you, and you snuffed out their lives.
You have to understand that the end was coming, and the world starts to go. You have to decide when your time is up.
But did they decide or did you decide?
They were giving me hints to this effect.
And a hint's enough to go and decide to take
Man,
a
I
life?
hope I don't get nobody no hit to kill me.
It was
Fuck.
information like a plea that this is the beginning of the end for them.
What?
Well, it was the end for them because you made it the end for them.
Okay, I'll have to keep. I think that
What can you tell us about your parents? What kind of people were they, your mother and your father?
my father was more. Well, my mother said, do whatever you want as long as you do good in school. And so I sort of measured myself as, is what I'm doing good for school or not? And usually that kept me on track to being doing good in school. And my father was not so much important. Sometimes he would say, "Oh, you don't have to take that test." Or
Were you not as close with your father?
I was close with them in different ways. But I wouldn't say that I was not as close with my father. I always felt closer to my father, I think.
Why did you decide to kill your father first?
Yeah, I can't talk about that. I'll listen to that advice of the lawyer.
After you took their lives, it's been 8 years. What have you been doing in those 8 years?
Trying to make good on their lives by trying to, I tried to start a Vogue Saber philosophy, which never existed before, and I think it's very important to civilization to try to start a new civilization, to recultivate the German people, because after World War II, they were totally wiped out culturally by the United States. Everything was destroyed, and then they were basically Americanized. But I understood that the essence of German culture is folk teleology, which is a philosophical term.
Don't you think your parents might have rather continued to live as opposed to you helping German culture?
My parents always believed in doing their duty. My mother always said, I do this out of duty to you. It's not as concerned with love and life as you might think it is.
Was it a loving relationship you had with your parents?
Not in a loving, I wouldn't characterize it as loving the way you might say it in America. It was harsh.
It was harsh.
Oh yeah, as a kid, it was very harsh.
So was any of the decision to take their lives in retribution for that, that the fact that you had a harsh upbringing?
No. Okay, sorry. Sorry. All right, thank you.
What? That boy getting them right questions, but oh my God, this man killed his parents for their Social Security checks. And didn't say nothing about it for a whole 8 years, bro. This is wild. Bro, it's not worth it. It was this dude from Chicago, if y'all didn't know about it. He was a rapper from Chicago. I think his name was Q Money. You know, what that nigga name is? Chicago rapper kills mom. Well, he set his mom up. He set her up to get killed. But here you go right here. Hey, this is real life. This is real.
Get the motherfucking day started.
Yeah, I watched this in real life, like as in like for real. But look what he did. Oh, he got sexually assaulted in jail. Oh my God.
Luxury car, selfie blunt, temperature just right so you comfortable. Music low, not that loud. $1,300 leather on the leather. Sunroof, extra light.
It's the worst time of the
Some
year in life.
things. This what's wrong with me. In the mall, North Riverside. Different levels to this shit. Because I seen King Louis flexing one of these motherfuckers. Oh, kill on.
Go.
Word on the street, young QC got clothes. Word on the street, QC got the hole. Yo, word on the street, word on the street. Today's flow.
And these was the shit back then, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, these was the shit.
When Kwame Wilson didn't show obvious grief at his mother's funeral, his cousin chalked it up to shock that he was just having trouble processing her death. The young man didn't sit in the front row of the church near Yolanda Holmes' casket and spent much of the service hanging outside, according to friends and relatives, some of who found his behavior at the September 2012 funeral very odd. Prosecutors alleged the 24-year-old actor, dancer, and rapper, who goes by the name Young QC, had a reason for looking suspicious.
There's deep sadness over the killing of Hadia Pendleton was evident as hundreds gathered outside the Greater Harvest Baptist Church. WGN's Randy Bellasomo has that story.
The crowd began to form hours before services were scheduled to start. A solemn air settled upon South State as the casket of 15-year-old Hadia Pendleton arrived. Hers wasn't a life that was to turn out this way. She was a cut above the street violence that has plagued our city. Kwame Wilson lost his mother to gun violence on November 14th.
My mother, she was a neighborhood woman. A guy entered her home, and murdered her, just to steal.
Many parents here say this time it feels like it was one of their own.
Kwame Wilson grew up without his father, Jeffrey Todd Wilson, and was raised by his mother, Yolanda Holmes. Wilson's father had been largely out of his life for at least 20 years. Wilson's father, Jeffrey Todd Wilson, is serving a life sentence in Statesville Correctional Center in Crest Hill, Illinois for murder. The reputed West Side gang leader was arrested in 1993. Authorities accused him of setting fire to an apartment building in 1990 that killed 2 low-level crack house workers after the dealer who ran the drug den refused to pay a street tax of $500 to $1,000 a month. Holmes wanted to ensure that Wilson would never have to use gangster tactics to get what he wanted. His cousin Banks said, "She didn't want the street swallowing him up." Prosecutors say Wilson, Holmes' only child and sole beneficiary, masterminded a robbery on his 45-year-old mother that led to her death, and then emptied her bank accounts and collected life insurance policies after she was slain. After his arrest last month, authorities said he told detectives he set the robbery up for quote-unquote financial gain. An aspiring Chicago rapper who posted a video on YouTube of himself throwing thousands of dollars that he inherited from his mother to his quote-unquote fans has been sentenced to 99 years in prison for her 2012 murder for hire killing. Kwame Wilson, 30, was sentenced Friday by a Cook County judge who also sentenced the convicted gunman, Eugene Spencer, to 100 years, the Chicago Sun-Times reported. Both men were convicted last March of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and home invasion in the killing of Yolanda Holmes, who was a hairstylist in Chicago's uptown neighborhood, the newspaper reported. Prosecutors said Holmes doted on her son, an only child, lavishing him with fancy clothes, jewelry, and a Mustang, but that he wanted more. Wilson, then 23, sent Spencer to his mother's apartment to kill her in September 2012 so that Wilson could raid her bank accounts, prosecutors said. The word is matricide, meaning murder of one's own mother, Cook County Judge Stanley Sachs said Friday as he stared from the bench at Wilson and Spencer. Whatever he wanted, his mother gave to him. A car, a job. One could say he was spoiled. She gave Kwame life, and it was his choice to take it away from her. Records showed that Wilson withdrew nearly $70,000 from his mother's accounts in the months after her death and spent the money on flashy clothes and to customize the Mustang she had given him to have gold wing doors added to the vehicle.
It's the 14th of September 2015. Sergeant Contreras is interviewing an inmate involved in a 1010 on tier of 3G. What's your name?
Kwame Wilson.
What's your ID number?
2013-12-24-144.
What happened on 3G?
I was standing by the phones, and then that guy, I don't know him. I don't know where he came from. I don't know who he is. He got off the table and took his shirt off. Unbuttoned his jumpsuit and stepped to me and just got in like fighting position. I thought he was playing. I didn't know if he was for real or what. So I don't know him. I never seen him before. And then he got real close. And then he swung, and then the fight occurred, and then the guy tried to stop it, the other guy tried to stop it, and then it stopped, and then I was looking away, then next thing I know, when I turned around, he came back up again and tried to swing on me again, and then I just held him until y'all came, and then that's it.
14th September 2015, Sergeant Contreras interviewing an inmate involved in a 1010 on tier 3G. What's your name?
Malcolm Williams.
What's your ID number?
2015-02-20187.
What happened upstairs in 3G?
I had an altercation with a young man. Stepped to me, asked me did I want to fight him. I approached him with my fist. He continued to fight, and another guy came in behind me. Other than that, I don't know what happened.
That it?
Yeah.
There have been numerous pictures that have surfaced online since Young QC's incarceration. He's been seen in photos and videos with King Lil J himself live from Cook County. There was news that started to spread that Young QC was killed while serving his time in Cook County. DNAinfo.com provided information clearing up rumors that Kwame was killed in Cook County Jail. All of those rumors were proven to be false via the info found on this website. Instead, reports show that young QC was raped in the shower before suffering multiple stab wounds. He survived his injuries and continues to serve his time. Alright, y'all, so there y'all have it, man. That's been the story of
They took his
Kwame
butt?
Wilson. I just want to end this by saying, fuck that dude.
Nah, for sure. Fuck that dude, man. That nigga mama gave him everything. And he went through, boy.